So what's the secret recipe that top companies use to deliver just amazing results every single time? Well, it's a philosophy called operational excellence. And today we're going to break it all down. Let's dive in. We have all been there, right? You're starving, you've been waiting forever, and then the pizza finally shows up and it's a total letdown. Well, that super common frustration, it's actually a perfect way to understand a huge business challenge. And it's the exact problem operational excellence was designed to solve. So, what is this stuff really? At its heart, operational excellence is a way of thinking. It's about building a culture where every single person in the company has the power to make their work better, speed up delivery, and do it all for a lower cost. Better, faster, cheaper. That's the mantra. Okay, so where do you even begin? Well, you can't get better, faster, or cheaper if you don't even know what better means to your customer. So it all has to start with listening. And in the world of operational excellence, there's a name for this. It's called capturing the voice of the customer, or VOC for short. It's all about really understanding what your customers need and expect, but hearing it in their words, not a bunch of business jargon. But how do you take that voice and actually do something with it? I mean, a customer saying, "I want my pizza fast," is great, but it's not really a business target, is it? The trick is to turn that wish into something you can measure. We call it a critical to quality requirement, or a CTQ. So fast suddenly becomes a crystal clear goal: delivery in under 30 minutes. Now the whole team knows exactly what they're aiming for. But here's the thing, not all customer needs are created equal, and the Kano model is just a brilliant tool for sorting them out. First, you've got your dissatisfiers. These are the absolute must-haves, the non-negotiables. If your pizza base is raw, I don't care how fast it got there, you failed. Then you have satisfiers. This is where more is better. Faster delivery, more cheese, yes please. And finally, my favorite, the delighters. These are those unexpected surprises, like a free topping, that make customers go wow and turn them into loyal fans. Okay, so once we know what the customer actually wants, we've got to look in the mirror. How do we make and deliver this pizza? This is all about getting our own house in order and fixing the process flow. And to fix that flow, we turn to the philosophy of lean. Now, the idea here is incredibly simple, but so powerful. Find and destroy anything in your process that doesn't add value for the customer. Value is anything they'd be happy to pay for. Everything else is just waste. And there's this fantastic acronym, Tim Woods, that helps us spot these 8 different types of waste. Just think about our pizza place. A driver taking a long, inefficient route, that's wasted transport. Stacks and stacks of pizza boxes nobody needs yet, wasted inventory. A cook walking all the way across the kitchen just for cheese, that's wasted motion. From dough waiting for an oven to making the wrong pizza entirely a defect, it's all waste. It adds cost and time, but zero value. And here's the golden rule. You absolutely cannot eliminate waste that you can't see. So the very first step to improving any process is to make it visible. You've got to map it out. And there isn't just one way to do it. You use different maps for different jobs. You might start with a high-level map just to get the lay of the land. But if you want to find those hidden bottlenecks, you'll need a detailed map. If you're trying to figure out where things go wrong when work gets handed from one person to another, a swim lane map is perfect. And to see where you're really spending time and money, you use a value stream map. But what happens when the problem isn't something obvious like a messy kitchen? Sometimes the problem is way deeper, and the cause is a complete and total mystery. That's when we need to pull out a different set of tools. And this brings us to a really important distinction: the difference between lean and another powerhouse methodology called Six Sigma. Here's a simple way to think about it. You use lean when you pretty much know what the problem is, like you can see the wasted motion in the kitchen. You use Six Sigma when you have a problem, but the root cause is a mystery. Like, why are our pizza crusts sometimes amazing and sometimes awful? The goal of Six Sigma is to play detective, hunt down that hidden cause, and get rid of the defects for good. The whole philosophy of Six Sigma can basically be boiled down to this one simple-looking formula. Y equals a function of X. So, Y is your outcome, the big problem you want to fix, like our inconsistent crusts. The X's, those are all the potential inputs, all the little things that could be causing the problem. Oven temperature, flour type, humidity, you name it. The entire goal is to sift through all those X's and find the critical few that are really messing with your Y. And Six Sigma gives you a roadmap for this investigation. It's a 5-step process called DMAIC. First, you define the problem clearly. Then, you measure everything. You track data on all those potential X's. Next, you analyze that data to find the one that's the real culprit. Once you've found it, you improve the process. And finally, and this is key, you control it by putting a system in place so that problem never, ever comes back. And, that brings us to our final and maybe the most important section. See, it's one thing to fix a problem, but it's a whole other ballgame to make sure it stays fixed. So how do you make excellence the new normal? A fantastic place to start is with the 5S method. It's a system for creating a super organized and efficient workplace. First, you sort through everything and toss what you don't need. Then you set in order. A place for everything and everything in its place. Then you shine, keep it spotless. You standardize the process with things like checklists so everyone does it the same way. And finally, you sustain it with regular checks to make sure the good habits stick around. But what if we could go to the next level? What if we could make it physically hard, or maybe even impossible, to make a mistake in the first place? Well, this is a concept called error-proofing or weyogit. It's all about designing the process so that the right way is the easiest way. And there are levels to this. The absolute best, the gold standard, is prevention. Imagine a pizza box that's designed so it can literally only be folded the correct way. That's prevention. Next best is facilitation, like using color-coded spoons for toppings to make it way harder to grab the wrong one. And finally, you have detection, like a scale that beeps if a dough ball is the wrong weight. It catches the error before it gets any further. But all the tools and methods in the world won't get you there on their own. The real secret sauce? It's creating a culture of process discipline. And that has to start with leadership championing the change. It means focusing everyone on just a few clear metrics that actually matter. It means empowering your employees with the training and the authority to do the right thing. And it means using control plans to make sure the new, better way becomes the only way things are done. And when you put it all together, when you listen to your customer, get rid of waste, solve those deep-rooted problems, and build that culture of discipline, our humble pizza restaurant is completely transformed. It's not just making pizzas anymore. It's a well-oiled machine that delivers exceptional value every single time. It is better, faster, and cheaper. So that just leaves us with one final thought. These ideas, they don't just apply to giant corporations or even pizza places. They apply everywhere. So think about your own day, at work, or even at home. What's one little piece of waste, one moment of waiting, one repeated mistake that you could start to eliminate tomorrow?